We are now live. Season 1, Episode 1, TLR, Draft Recap. Quite a few topics to cover today. We've got a few segments, got a variety of do's, don'ts, who's good, who's not. And most importantly, winter is coming for some.
Practice.
But first, let's thank our sponsors. I'd like to first call out the Grass app, available at the Google Play Store and the iTunes Store. Have you ever found yourself wondering, hey, that's some nice looking grass. I wonder what kind that is. If so, this app is for you. Simply enter the promo code TLR and you will find out if it's Kentucky blue, Bermuda green, or ruby red. And we'll find if that grass is right for you. But wait, this is a developing app, so there's more. We are working currently with this company to build out a sounds of grass growing type segment where you can listen live to various types of grass growing to see what they're all about. So, thanks to our friends at the Grass app. We'll now get this started. But first, from the Prodigy. And now for a commissioner's call.
Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural season of the Trio League. Glad to be a part of it. Glad to be a part of this podcast. Thank you so much to Tommy, and we have Nick, and I'm Mark, your commish, highlighting today a rule in advance of the first game. Basically, what it avoids is fishing for injuries, in which you have a guy on your roster for the noon game. His starting running back that he's backing up does not get hurt, so you drop him and you pick up a guy for the 3 p.m. game to see if that guy gets hurt, and then he does not get hurt, so you drop that guy, and then you pick up the Sunday Night Football guy, and then that guy gets hurt, and you just got a monster. Well, if you're going to do that, each time you drop a bench player that's already played, you can do it. It costs you $10, 10 fab dollars, not real dollars.
5
and 10. Costs 10. And so one other example would be like just not having a defense. Like right now, my roster does not have a defense. If I just waited until Monday Night Football and then finally picked up a defense, but like I waited for dropping just any guy from my bench that ended up having a terrible Sunday, I can do it, but it costs $10.
What about so you can do it 10 times?
Yeah, if you want to use all your fab dollars that way, yes.
All right. I think
just eliminating it from the league as a possibility?
I'm sorry?
What about just getting rid of that option?
There's no way to get rid of it in Yahoo. If you're out of money, I would just reverse the transaction.
You know who might be out of money?
Yeah, if you run out of money, then you can't do it.
Right. I think Roger may need some help.
Oh, you added it to actually say Roger? Roger, help me, Roger. 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 Help me decide on my trades. Help me decide on my trades. All right, this is the segment in which we give Roger some advice on if you would accept or decline a trade that has been in his trade pending trades for at least 3 days. So I'll let you guys go first. What pending trades do you have for Roger that we should decide on?
I think if you're ready, you should fire away. I got to load my queue up.
All right. Nick, did you have any trades that you've proposed to Roger?
How am I supposed to see access to Roger's?
No, if you've offered any trades to him that you're waiting on.
Oh, 0. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'll shoot him one right now.
You know, why don't I go first?
That sounds good.
So, all right, which side would you rather have? You know, like which person would you do if you're the trade here? John Brown and TJ Yeldon for the Jacksonville defense. Let's help Roger. What do you think he should do? He has Jacksonville.
TJ Yeldon and John Brown.
Yep.
Reject.
Okay.
Yeah, neither of those guys would start over a majority of his current players, so I'm of the reject side.
Any final thoughts before we move on to our next trade?
I'm good on this one.
Can I start with? Can I ask something? How many trades have you offered, Rod?
2. We have 2 from my end, and then we'll go to Tommy. I'll just get both of mine out of the way now.
Didn't want to be in for line of like 10 trades. Just 2.
Well, as long as Tommy doesn't have 8. My next one is Alfred Morris for Jacksonville defense. Let's help Roger.
You really want that Jacksonville defense, don't you?
Both trades targeting the same players. What's up?
All I'm getting is you just want Jacksonville. So reject.
Okay.
I'd be more inclined to take this one. I think having Alfred Morris, given the latest news with Jerick McKinnon out, could make Morris a sneaky play. And Jacksonville defense, I think I'm probably wrong on this quote, as I usually am, but something like anytime a defense finishes first the year before, they never finish like top 3 the following year. So while Jacksonville will be very good, are they going to have the same statistical season? To be seen.
Great analysis. And with both of you picking one side, the tiebreaker will go to Roger. So whenever Roger wants to make that selection, we'll talk about it next week if he accepted or declined. Tommy?
Alrighty. Let's just...
that trade made. Now I'm interested.
When did you set that trade up?
Oh, the day that McKinnon got hurt and I picked up Alfred Morris. That's when I sent it. So 2 days ago, maybe 3.
How quick were you on that Alfred Morris pickup?
Well, I saw a tweet that this guy thought it looked concerning, like extremely concerning. And so I picked him up. And then the coach said he was pretty nervous. And I felt pretty good about it. And then he tore his ACL, so he's out for the season. And I hawked his back up.
All right. Thank you, because I have McKinnon, so I now have to sit him and figure it out. In the meantime, let's shift into just overall draft summary. Nick brought up a great point. Worst team, best team. And I think it's no better way to start this than to read the draft recap of our own commissioner from Mr. Haley himself. So Yahoo says, whoever is running I Win Championships should hang on to their J job after turning in the top overall pick into the worst projected Rio record in the Trio League. On the bright side, the team is notably strong at the running back position, as Todd Gurley and Devonta Freeman are expected to combine for the highest point total. Little do we know he led in trades Devonta Freeman. And then it says, I Win Championships are predicted to finish in 12th place at a record of 1-12. Best pick was Alan Hearns.
In the 13th round.
Who selected Hearns with the 12th pick in the 12th round, about 18 slots later than his ADP of 126.
18 slots.
But the reach pick, are you willing to share your secrets with Peyton Barber? We'd love to know what prompted you to select Barber in the 7th round, about 3 rounds earlier than his ADP of 121.
Oh, wow. Sounds like some good analysis here.
Yeah.
Shortly after the report came out, though, he did change his name away from I Win Championships. So I think.
Thank you. That's true. I feel good about it.
The explanation there.
Do you guys have your team names ready to explain?
Yeah.
All right. I'll go first.
That's all in the name.
So my team name is now Weekend at Bert and Ernie's. So what we have here is play on Weekend at Bernie's, and then my logo for my team is just Bernie there, which I thought was pretty good. And I have Trey Burton on my team. I've never done a pun on a name, but I Win Championships is getting a little stale. That's what the kids were telling me.
So it had nothing to do with the report that said you had no chance to win champion.
It's a great point.
It did not have to do with me feeling like I'm dead. I feel confident in my team, and Peyton Barber was arguably my favorite pick.
It was your reach pick, but all's well that ends well, I guess.
Now I'm looking here, and it looks like one of your guys' team names is Coop. There it is.
Coop.
But I
There it
drafted
is.
Amari Cooper.
Yeah, what team is he on now?
Coop, there it is.
Coop. There it is.
Yeah, so you have to keep that in mind if you trade Trey Burton.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, what about you? Did you go with the song route or the movie route, Nick, for your team name?
Song round. It's pretty much all there. Don't stop believing. When you draft a white wide receiver that was undrafted by the NFL, you really can't stop believing. Or, any further questions on?
Not for me.
There's still two people that need a new name. There's two people that are still like Chris. I think they're both Chris, actually.
Chris's pro players or Chris's cool team?
Right. But can we talk to Chris?
Chris with the C was one of my picks for worst team.
Oh, why?
It just looks terrible. That's Chris with the C, terrible team. But that's not my worst. So I
felt like this was appropriate.
So I'll go to my actual worst team, the Winkle Vision.
Winkle Vision worst.
Pretty easy to determine this is the worst. I really just don't see one player on this team that I would even want.
What about
waiver wire?
What about Robbie Anderson? Because I've been trying to trade for him all week.
Nope. Having the dominant Vikings defense is not a problem usually, except when you choose them too early, and they're literally the best player on your roster.
What about Kareem Hunt?
Who's Team Beejimit?
That's Team Big Midget.
Okay, who is Big Midget?
Question.
Brian.
So I've got a question for Brian. He takes a wide receiver at number 6. No fault there. That's a good spot.
Okay.
He takes DeAndre Hopkins instead of Antonio Brown.
Maybe wanted the younger guy?
Younger by maybe 2 years and unproven. And I mean, quarterback is less proven than Big Ben throwing to Antonio Brown. 4 straight years of 110 plus catches. I thought that was a bold move at the draft.
Now, is that just a nice way of saying like reach?
Not reach. I think Hopkins was top 10, but I would have taken Brown before Hopkins.
Another league that ironically Brian is in, and they call it the biggest, boldest move, like you said. But my worst goes to Andy Reid's diet, which actually goes. He gets another award as my favorite team name.
Yes,
but although if you look at his team, although the very two first players that show up, his quarterback Kirk Cousins, I thought he got good value on, and I was actually really wanting Tyreek Hill, and the fact that Tyreek Hill didn't fall to my 24th overall pick is the main reason why I traded with Tommy. But outside of that, I don't like Mixon or Lamar Miller, and his best position is for sure his running backs. He has Rashard Penny, who I think is the fattest running back in the league now. Now that
as long as his team name, though, reason for that.
It's true.
But other than that, he doesn't have a single bench player that I would pick up if he dropped him. Who do you guys have for best team?
I have a question before we get to best team, though. There was a pause during the draft.
There was multiple pauses.
Yeah, what the hell was that about?
Well, I was just trying to help Mirage or help Mirage or make sure he was getting in his picks.
Help Mirage, help Mirage.
Unfortunately, we had one auto-directed player, and that was Golden Tate, which was not a bad value where he got him. And shout out to Roger for officially putting him on the trade block. I don't know if you saw that, but I thought that was impressive. You can't see it on the app, but in the actual league homepage, he's been put on the trading block.
He put it on the WhatsApp too.
Nice.
All right, best team. Nick, who you got?
Well, I think it has to go out to Don't Stop Believing.
All right, what do you like about his team?
That guy's team is built for both the current and the future. Got some veteran leadership, Larry Fitzgerald. Then you move on, and you got youngest average team age and a piece of Hard Knocks action with Njoku. No one knows if that guy's good, but he's been featured all over that HBO special. It's where everyone thinks he's going to be the next best tight end in the league. And then, of course, you got Kamara and CJ Anderson to watch out for.
CJ Anderson, really?
Not Christian McCaffrey, who you also have.
Well, I might have to play both of them.
Now, did you draft two people named Christian because you are a Christian?
Great point.
You know, I didn't even think about that. Maybe it was just the Christian way.
Okay. And if I was to offer you today, live on this podcast, would you trade Devin Funchess for Alfred Morris? What would you say?
I would do it.
If you were who?
If I were getting Alfred Morris.
I do kind of need a running back.
That's what your biggest after you've awarded best team. That was your one spot that you said that you wanted to shore up. So you can mull on that because I'm going to wait until Roger responds before I would ever offer that officially to you. But just wanted you to be prepared.
You said you were officially offering me that live on the show.
I said if I was to officially offer it, we'll roll back the tape.
No can do.
On the Don't Stop Philemon team?
I like that team. I do like that team, but my best team goes to, it's a tie between No Functiona, which has now changed their team name to Juju's Pedals, which I'm willing to admit live that I don't know exactly what that reference means.
It's from It's a Wonderful Life, Zuzu's Pedals, when Jimmy Stewart goes back in time and he puts pedals in his little suit pants, and then he's like, "Oh, I wish I never existed. It'd be better." And
I think I just watched that movie like 2 years ago, and I don't remember Zuzu's Pedals. But you got to pay attention to the details. But what I liked about it, the shout out, is that I did not see this coming, and he was right next to me in the draft. And as he came around and swung the second and third round, picks 23 and then 26, he took Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce, which obviously allows him to have the only two stud tight ends in the league, in my opinion. And you can start two flexes and a tight end, so that's fine. And I think it weakens everybody else's tight end team, so I like that.
And to that point, he also, in rounds 10 and 11, when you took Kenny Golladay and John Brown, he got pretty pissed at both those picks. And in the live chat was like, "Oh, I was about to get them." And then he later took someone else that tried to fill that role. So we'll have to follow that.
Yeah, he originally took, it was Jordy Nelson, who I wanted. And so I was mad because he sniped me right before. So I would have taken Jordy Nelson before either of the two guys I took. And then he came around and settled for...
There's another big play.
Kenny Stills. Stills.
Having Kelce and Gronkowski in a league that's all but winning 3 championships.
That's a good point.
I mean, how long is Gronkowski going to play for? 2 years?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the downside. Is he's older.
And does he have 2 keepers on tight ends? Like, is that going to be his play? He just tight end guy.
And then I also liked.
I get to jump in before you go with your second.
All right.
To be calling that the best team.
I agree. My best team was from, ironically enough, my apparently nemesis Ben. Wish we had kickers.
He won Masters League last year, so he'll probably win it. You're probably right.
Yeah, I thought he had a solid draft. Antonio Brown, Melvin Gordon, but then his bench is pretty deep. You got Royce Freeman, who I was targeting because I think he's a rookie starter that'll be a starter there. But then he also got Devontae Booker, so he locked down the Denver running back job. He got Pirine at Washington, which I think over time AP is going to fall. Just some solid depth. Didn't pick a defense, didn't pick a tight end, just totally went with running backs and wide receivers. So he's got some solid depth. I'm watching him as he makes a move because he's going to have to drop somebody, and there's some players there I could see myself picking up.
Yeah, I could see him dropping Pirine.
Pirine, Rod Smith, Rob Kelly, Chris Ivory. He's got some players there that I could be poaching.
All right, I like it. And then I like Tom Hanks volleyball. Kyle has Emmanuel Sanders. He looks like he's getting a ton of targets. He's got J.J. who's got a good offensive line, and we're not sure if he's going to get all the rushes, but if he does, he's going to be a beast. Jordan Howard, I thought, was a really good pick, 3-down back. And on his bench, he's got Le'Veon Bell, who's pretty good. And I like Gio Bernard. So his running backs are stacked. And then
worries on Le'Veon really playing football again?
I was just going to bring that up.
If he doesn't, I've got James Conner.
No comment on Le'Veon Bell playing football.
Exactly.
I hope he doesn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's throw it up to the north. Let's get weekly segment number 2 going.
Oh, so not a lot of prep work, which will come up in my next segment from my past 3 days on the Barf cruise. But I did have some stories off here. Is there intro music for this?
You tell me. I can try to figure it out.
There is, yes.
Well, I'm pretty sure since it's winter is coming, there'd be some Game of Thrones music.
See, I don't watch that show.
Me neither.
Well, stay tuned for next week.
So the opposite of winter, because Africa's always hot.
Toto, Africa. Way to stay tuned, Tommy.
I got you.
Get your pulse. All right, so this segment, Winter is Coming, is all about reminding our friends in the North Division and anyone else not fortunate enough to live on the West Coast that football means not only the start of the greatest time of the year, but it's also that much closer to winter for us Midwesterns up there. Oh,
yeah.
So I just thought it'd be fun to read some funny stories that these Midwesterners or Northerners do in their free time. This is Leslie Welter. We got we got lost on Lake of the Woods along the Canadian border in a blizzard, negative 20 degrees. 2.5 hours later, we finally found our ice fishing house. So first point to take note of there, they didn't just turn around and go home. They still made it to the ice fishing house. After doing circles and a complete whiteout. Did you know you can't use iPhone maps to go back to a pin when you're on a lake?
Wow.
What?
I did not.
Goes out. Any comments on that story? You got a few more.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I say save the time for more stories.
How big is ice fishing? That's some serious dedication.
Yeah. Us West Coasters, blizzard outside, stay inside. Pretty simple.
Or if it's too hot, you stay inside too.
Yeah. And in winter, I'll be sitting outside drinking a margarita.
That sounds good.
Well, here's one more story. This is from Mel Ines. I don't know. We'll get Mel to call in next show.
Yeah, please.
Every winter we have volleyball tournaments. Sounds tame enough, but ours are on frozen lakes. We meet up at our sponsoring bar on the lake and have a couple of cocktails, and then go shovel a court near the shore. We use football helmets, cleats, no skates, that would be dangerous, and strap on some pillows to our backsiders for falls. Wow, Mel, I've never heard of that.
I want to see that. I want to see that live.
My favorite comment is the no skates. That would be dangerous. You know, not the whole
volleyball. Downplaying the rest of it.
I love these.
I'm curious about the cleats on the ice. That sounds pretty adventurous.
This one's just pretty straightforward. Samantha Fisher. I don't know if I believe her, but we'll read it anyways.
Well, I like your readers. They're on a roll, so keep them coming.
I was driving to work one morning when it was negative 10, and I saw a naked man. I guess pretty straightforward.
That's it?
I don't believe that for a second. That one I'm calling malarkey on.
Mike Malarkey, former coach.
Come back on.
Wow. Kim Kardashian, she once had come on her back.
Once.
Well, that we know of. All right.
Well, here to keep the naked theme going, a group of friends and I decided to go tubing in the middle of the night. It was also negative 10 degrees again, with nothing on but boxers and boots.
Why?
Aaron Larson.
Yeah. That just sounds fun.
See, nowadays they do that for the video and go viral.
Well, stay tuned to next week. That was this week's version of Winter is Coming. So those are some of the things you Northerners have to look for. Here on the West Coast, we're looking towards about 75 degrees every day with no rain or precipitation.
That's great. Got a slow outro. All right. That leads us to our... We should probably take a break. Thank our sponsors.
Do you ever wonder whose birthday it is, but every time you try to go on Facebook, you just get flooded with a bunch of other information, so you never even see whose birthday it is? Introducing Face Birthday, where we'll tell you whose birthday it is without all the ads and the hoopla from all the other friends and the followers. Just type in code TLR. And you'll be ready to know whose birthday it is whenever you want, however you want. For an extra fee, we can send you a postcard letting you know whose birthday is upcoming. First month is free. And if you don't have any friends with the birthday in the next month, we'll give you another free month until you have at least one friend that has a birthday.
Question for you. Do they send the postcard to you or to the person who has a birthday?
We'll send it to you to remind you that that person's birthday is coming up, and maybe you should send him something.
Fantastic.
Hey, I got a question while we're on a break here.
Yeah. I'm still getting over this Face birthday.
Are we going for a 3-hour podcast, or are we going to try to fit it in the normal?
I vote we keep it tight.
All right, let's keep it tight. So that leads us to Dick Tease of the Week, or as some people say, Richard Tease of the Week. My nominee is pick 164 by Andy Reid's Diet, who selected Des Bryant, who is currently unsigned and has no tangible prospects in front of him to be signed anywhere in the short term. But
what about your Raiders? Now that Martavis Bryant's gone.
Brandon LaFell, baby, just signed him.
Okay, all right.
Big LaFell.
Probably won't be in the league then.
Oh, likely. So that's my vote for Dick Tease of the Week.
Nice.
Yeah.
My only teaser was right before Jordy Nelson was taken, the Rams defense was also taken. And I don't know why this would have anything to do with like winning fantasy football, but I read one place that it could be good to have the defense of the running game that you have. And I have Todd Gurley, and I don't see any correlation in why that would make it a good idea to have their defense. But I was going to take them, and then they were taken right before me. Back-to-back snubs.
Wait, so explain to me that theory.
I have no idea the theory. I just read it, that they thought it was a good idea.
Why is that a Dick Tease?
I don't know. Who's yours, Nick?
I was going to go with Rex Burkhead. Because every year you never know what New England running back it's going to be. There's like 6 of them. They all get touchdowns. And in his first week, he's projected to get like 15 points against me. Just don't see that happening.
Wait,
No.
I'm playing you, and I don't have him.
Oh, other league. Sorry.
Oh, there's only one league we talk about here.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about other league. I did mention my other league at one point.
Yeah, you guys both have.
But we didn't make it part of a segment.
Somehow this cock's going to get 15 points when he only had 3 touchdowns receiving last year and 5 touchdowns the whole year.
I could see it, actually. Sounds like Sony Michel's not going to play week 1. You're probably going to get 15 points dropped on you.
Big time.
Well, we'll see.
We will.
All right. I think it's time now for What You Munchin', Mark.
All right. So What You Munchin's going to work like this. It's only played if we've got someone present that is a dad. Because what would happen?
Baghdad's.
Melissa?
No, you got that confused. See, What You Munchin' is a game within the segment. The segment is called Baghdad. And so Baghdad is a segment where anybody who is a dad puts a bag on their head. And then the people that are not dads, or at least one of them anyway, they start munching on something. Right out in the open. Everybody on the camera can see it, munching away. But the person who has a bag on their head has no idea. So they have to guess what you munching. So it won't be like this, but so if I was going to have a bag on my head, and then the person with the bag on their head would be guessing, but this time I'll munch something. You guys guess what it is, but you won't be able to see what I'm munching on because I got this bag over my head. Okay.
Let's fire it up.
Are you a dad?
Coming in here.
Tortilla chip.
Oh, you're half right. Half of what I'm eating is a tortilla chip.
Chips and guac.
You. Woo! Sound the alarms. Sound the winning correct alarm. That's exactly right.
We got victory.
Blue corn tortilla chips and guacamole. Nick and Tommy. Tommy got the chips. Nick got the guac. I didn't think it would happen like that. So when we don't have a father present, we'll just skip that and we'll go straight to what's the best meal that you had this week, and also what'd you have for dinner tonight?
All right, you leading off?
No, I'm eating my chips.
Oh.
Well, today's Monday, so the best meal I've had this week is what I ate tonight, which was ground turkey tacos on some tortillas with some freshly made guacamole, salsa. All this was homemade, by the way. Onions, pico, little habanero sauce. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Nice. Sounds amazing. Credit the source. Homemade by who?
Nick, Mowry, myself.
We'll play.
Oh, wow.
So the owner of Don't Stop Believing.
All right. Good pick. Tommy?
So tonight, I kind of have a perfect little segue. I had enough of my favorite meal this week that I had some of the leftovers tonight.
Professional!
Yeah, I got lucky there. So tonight, a little bit of some lemon caper salmon, a little quick pan fry, skin side on top, let that omega acids flow down. Then a quick flip, crisp it underneath, squirt some fresh lemon on top. So that was
on a
tonight.
Monday. That sounds
On a
fancy.
Monday.
Nicely done, both of you.
No, that was pretty, it's not a big deal. But the favorite meal was on Saturday because I felt like football was back, right? We had Notre Dame, Michigan. We had U of A losing to BYU. We had a bunch of good games. And so I made some crock pot bolognese. I like a little homemade. So first you brown up some ground beef, put a little pancetta in there with some red wine, cream, garlic, and then you let it sit and simmer for about 6 hours. Have that over some fresh pappardelle pasta. And that was my favorite meal of the week.
Well, this is my favorite segment of the week. This is amazing. My favorite meal really wasn't my favorite meal, but it's interesting. So last weekend, I tried for the first time Chicago Hamburger Company in downtown Phoenix. I think it's like Arcadia. I always see the sign, the old Slider, Chicago Windy City Slider.
Famous.
Yep. You ever been there, Nick?
No.
Yeah, I had never tried it either, so I just gave it a whirl, and it was pretty good. I would not recommend the garlic fries. They were too much, and they had like a lot of liquid on the bottom that the bottom fries were soaking in. But the sliders themselves were pretty good. And tonight, also sliders, Scottsdale, soon to be coming. The first one west of the Mississippi. We here in Arizona are getting the next White Castle.
Really?
Coming to Scottsdale. First one west of the Mississippi. So we'll have to battle it out.
Chicago Hamburger Company or White Castle?
I'm partial to White Castle.
Why?
Because I like their crinkly cut fries better. Yep. But the meal that I had tonight was a pork tenderloin. I believe it was seasoned with garlic and herbs. And the source credit goes to the voice that I heard in the background that actually fed me the line of the garlic and herbs. My beautiful wife. Let's all give her a hand. All right. And let's take a break and wrap this thing up.
All right. Final ad sponsored by Nick.
Shooters shoot. When you're gearing up for a night on the town, whether that's beers on the golf course before 7 a.m. or happy hour where you're looking to put limits over 15 drinks, Shooters Shoot is just for you. Individual servings of virgin olive oil to generously lube up your insides to prepare for those excessive amounts of alcohol coming down. No one wants to deal with pouring out those individual servings from a large bottle of olive oil, so Shooters Shoot provides you with your individual packet ready to slug down before a night of slugging. Type in the code TLR to get your first sample today. Shooters
Wow.
Shoot.
Have you tried? This sounds phenomenal. Do you have any firsthand experience?
I was reading about hangover remedies to kind of help me with this last weekend of drinking, and I found this one, but sadly, you have to use it before you drink.
So, did you have a good weekend? You look like you had a nice weekend.
Got a nice glow about you.
If by glow you mean lack of color in my skin, yes, correct.
Winter is coming.
I was on a cruise at a bachelor party.
The whole time? Were you on the boat the whole time?
No, it got off in Mexico, which I don't know which was
Where in Mexico?
Ensenada.
Nice. All right. We've got our penultimate segment here. Sleeper Keeper. Who is someone on another roster that you guys are lusting over, thinking you wish you had them? Now, I know mine, and I may have alluded to it earlier, but Royce Freeman is one I have been watching because I think he's about to break out and have a good couple year stretch here that would have been a nice keeper.
Gonna try to trade for him before the season starts and the word gets out?
No, because I think I'd have to give too much of my own keepers. So I'm just going to watch from afar and be like, see, I told you so. It's a bold
who
strategy.
has them?
Yeah, Ben, my nemesis.
There you go. I told you he was your nemesis. You're finally figuring it out why.
Yeah, still seems like a nice enough guy that I've never met, but we'll see.
I've never met him either. Sleeper Keeper for me is a guy that I think a little bit of a sleeper that actually might be a keeper. Not a lot of people maybe are thinking about this guy as a keeper. A lot of people looking at those first 3 rounds, but a guy that was actually drafted in the 8th round.
Ocho?
Going into the 9th. The swing pick, James Conner, who I am glad that I do have, because when Le'Veon Bell goes to a different team next year, I'm going to have the workhorse Steelers running back. Great pick.
I'll give you my sleeper keeper next, but all your picks, it's a lot going on. First, you say one of the best teams is a guy with Le'Veon Bell. Now you're saying the sleeper keeper is his replacement. Just a little confused on that one. But I think mine has to be, it's pretty easy, sleeper keeper pick for this week. Round 15 draft pick, Deontay Foreman.
Texans running back?
Absolutely. Yep. He's got no one in front of him. Lamar Miller's been terrible for years. Even though Matthew Berry tries to tell you he's coming back every year. He sucks every year. Alfred Brook Blue.
Wait.
More of a fullback.
The talented Mr. Roto says that?
Oh, yeah. Leaving only Deontay Foreman, who has the speed, the catching ability, and the strength to just turn into a top third round pick.
Not worried about his injury?
This is sleeper keeper, so.
Fair enough.
It's the name of the segment.
What about Darius Geis out for the season? Should I keep him next year?
Yeah, no, I saw that move. That was low.
I don't think I'm going to keep him. I mean, if I'm keeping him as one of my 3 keepers, I don't think my team turned out the way I thought it was going to.
Well, we read Yahoo's recap of your team at the start, so
good thing I got some options.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
So we conclude now with Nick's final segment, a look beyond the trio. Anything else on your mind? And then we'll close up with our call to actions.
So the reason I was short with Mark's question earlier is he asked me about my weekend is I was leaving that all for this weekend, for this segment. Oh, wow. So, a look beyond the trio into the last 3 days of my life. Which is why I tried to get this podcast moved because my voice is gone. I just had to get Advil handed to me halfway through the segment. It's just been a rough day. All I did today was watch Harry Potter. Went through my 300 emails that I missed last week when I went on the cruise, and just
you must be popular.
But, anyways,
did you choose Harry Potter?
Good question.
Oh yeah,
and which one?
I haven't even got to the main part of this, but which one? I watched 7 hours, so
cool. I have no feelings of empathy towards you for having a bad day. You brought it upon yourself.
Yeah, well, I watched 5, 6, 7, and half of the last one. Anyways,
so tell us about the good part.
I was on the Ensenada cruise, also known, as we found out on our way there, as the BART cruise for the past 3 days. So let me tell you a few of the things that are happening on this cruise. Some lady was quarantined after only being on the ship for 7 hours. 7 hours. Due to attacking a family with kids by the pool around. Yeah. Which brings me to my second point. Why are families actually bringing their kids on this cruise? Why are they by 11 p.m.? It's called the Barf Cruise. It's a 3-day rager that leaves Long Beach, 15 free drinks a day, whatever you can smuggle on board. Stops in Ensenada and then turns around, drops you off right back to Long Beach at 6 a.m. and forces all the drunk bachelor and bachelorette parties off by 10 p.m. Trip also includes a casino, adult-only jacuzzis, Harry contests, a nightclub the size of my basement in Minnesota, and games creative as Cash Cream. So that was where I was this weekend.
A look beyond the trio. There's more to life than just fantasy football, right, Nick?
No, Barf Cruise.
Yeah, insightful as always. All right, well, thank you everyone for tuning in. We had quite an eventful episode there. This was Monday, September the 3rd. We'll be back on the airwaves. Don't worry, not too soon, but not too far. On Tuesday, September the 11th day of that month. But before then, I'm saying you got to go home, but you got to get the hell out of here. Peace.
We don't end with Firestarter?
No,
we end with Semisonic.
Firestarter is more of a starting song.
It's kind of in the title. This will be live in an hour. Turn all of the lights on over every boy and every girl. Closing